from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. This is 19 First Alert Plus, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
Before we get to the forecast, I want to remind everybody that the forecast you're about to see and hear, it's Andy's fault. So blame him for all of the weather that's happening. We talked about this before, and Andy wanted to make sure that we did point the blame right at him. That's right, Andy, correct?
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, before we were about to start this, I had the lights off. I said, you know, let's keep the lights off because nobody wants to see my face, right, given this forecast. Yeah, I've got my secret button right here. I'm turning the snow back on. And the cold, well, it's left on. And the problem is our cold switch is broken, so that's why we haven't gotten anywhere recently. But yeah, either way, Jeff, I mean, I'm just a messenger here, all right? Let's just say that. But
yeah,
we've
people
got more
forget
snow
about
on
the
way.
snow button. They forget
That's
that you
right.
have that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You just get a little bored, and you're like, you know, we got to spice up the forecast a little bit. And
got to change it a little
here
bit,
we
right?
are. Yeah.
Maybe we want some heat or something, you know, to melt some of the snow. That's for sure. As
yeah, you got to
yeah.
give us the heat. Well, the cold has to happen so we can enjoy the heat, and that cold and the snow, Andy, is leading to a First Alert Weather Day through Saturday morning. Take it away.
Yeah, it sure is, Jeff. More snow is on the way. It's a lighter snow this time. We're looking at 1 to maybe up to 4 inches. Those higher amounts would be in any snow bands that we can see, and also especially across the snow belt. But yeah, either way, we've got just some travel impacts expected for this Friday evening commute. And so after maybe your first week back, after the holidays, and you're already getting ready for some of this right now. So again, we're looking at area-wide snow. This is a system snow. Timing from basically now, I would say after about 3 o'clock until Saturday morning. And again, travel impacts are likely. It will have no hard time sticking to roads, sidewalks, etc. because of how cold it's been recently. Obviously, no problem with pavement surfaces there. As temperatures right now are currently still in the 20s, it's better than the single digits a lot of us were in this morning. But you can see right now the radar is showing a little bit of snow nearby. Now I'm going to show you with a moving radar and just a heads up and a disclaimer that a lot of this is not yet reaching the ground. Oftentimes you see this, the air is still very dry right where we are at the surface, so it may be snowing up in the clouds. That's what the radar is detecting, but where we are, it's not reaching it just yet. So this is really called saturating the atmosphere from top down. It starts to get snow in the clouds, and eventually that makes its way down to where we are. And so oftentimes you may be looking at a radar, you think we're in the snow hole. It's not that, it's just got to be able to make it to the surface, and that will happen, of course, but for right now we may not be seeing anything just yet, but we are seeing some snow falling where you see some of those deeper colors showing in our far western zones just outside of our area towards Toledo down through Columbus, and especially down towards Dayton and Cincinnati. Here we go again. They just got several inches of snow, close to a foot this time earlier in the week or close to last week, and now we're seeing more snow there. So this is a large system. Really, it's actually 2 systems. So we've had this stronger winter storm impacting areas to the south, snow unusually far south. Dallas got some snow over to portions of Little Rock, Memphis, really anywhere in Tennessee. But the snow even fell as far south as Birmingham, Alabama this morning to Atlanta, Georgia. And you can see in the Carolinas. So snow being brought to some unusually southern locations. That's a stronger system. Now this northern wave is a little bit weaker, but nonetheless, you can see the widespread snow that's being brought to much of the East Coast. And so that is why we do see some travel delays and cancellations, not fun flying across a lot of the nation today as some of those major hubs like Dallas, Atlanta, even over to Charlotte are going to be impacted. Taking you back closer to home, though, you can see our First Alert Future View really builds and the snow blossoms as we head through this evening. By 5, 6 o'clock, we're all pretty much in that snow. Notice some heavier snow bands will be possible. That's where you can get some of the higher totals. And then overnight, it's not quite as widespread, more of off and on activity, but it's still out there through the start of the day tomorrow. Notice once we get through tomorrow midday, that system snow is out of here. We do have the opportunity for some lake effect snow, primarily in our snow belt for tomorrow afternoon and evening, so that could tack on an additional couple of inches there. And then things should quiet down as we head through Sunday, where Sunday afternoon temperatures may feel warm, dare I say. We're going to be close to freezing, 32 degrees. That's not warm as you take it by itself, but compared to where we've been, it may not be all that bad. So that's something that we'll see on Sunday with quiet conditions. So giving you the snow tracker totals here. In general, we're painting about 1 to 3 inches, maybe slightly higher, 1 to 4 inches, I should say, maybe slightly higher amounts. You can see men are there, maybe caught under a band, or especially with the lake effect. This snow tracker map that I'm showing you right now is through tomorrow midday. So what happens tonight into tomorrow. Now I'm going to show you something that zooms in closer to our snow belt. And you can see as we go past tomorrow at midday, taking you through tomorrow late in the day, we could be seeing local totals maybe closer to 7 inches in those usual snow belt locations. Chardon getting closer to that amount, Middlefield, even over to Chesterland. That's where some higher totals could form if we're able to get some lake effect snow bands. I know we've had maybe a few people saying, hey, it's been so cold, is the lake icing over? That leads to less snow. It does, but we're not quite there yet. We're only about 12-13% coverage on Lake Erie, and that's especially in the western basin. So we're coming to that point, but not quite there. So lake effect is still in the forecast after this system snow, and I will talk more about this coming up in our 7 to 10 day, which I'm going to show you in just a bit.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
And we're back.
Yeah, let's take a look at it and going with our 7 days. So our first alert weather day will end by midday tomorrow for the system snow. The lake effect, though, could still deliver a couple inches in the snow belt tomorrow afternoon. Sunday, not too bad. Not as cold. I wouldn't be surprised if we're able to sneak in some sunshine. That's always nice to see this time of year. A lot of us saw that yesterday. 32 degrees, not as cold for lack of a better way to put it. You do see normal, though, is 36, so we're still below that. And then we're back to the real deep chill, the freezer, the Arctic. Look at that front. There's going to be another front. I feel like it's weird to talk about cold fronts when it's already cold, but this will be a strong one delivering more of that Canadian Arctic air. 17 is your high on Tuesday, and it will feel like it's at or below 0 all day because it's going to be windy. So Tuesday might be kind of rough out there. More of that lake effect snow is expected. Wednesday and Thursday will start to climb back and look above freezing, 35 on Friday. Get the shorts out, right? It looks like what's going to happen is Friday and Saturday we're above freezing for a couple days, and that'll be it. We're back into that deeper chill by the end of next weekend, so closer to 10 days out. And that may be what this month is bringing. I'm just looking at these models, Jeff, and just long term, we may get a couple days above freezing, but it just looks like we're going to be seeing these repeated shots of just very cold air. So this, I feel like, is a true winter around here. I feel like maybe it's not so out of the ordinary as it's by itself, but compared to the past couple winters, which have been so mild, this might be one January to remember that's been on the colder and potentially snowy side. But I don't see a lot of as any major systems. It's maybe sometimes difficult to time this snow out when it's just lake effect. But either way, the chill and the deep cold looks to be sticking around potentially through the rest of the month.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that it's everywhere, right? I mean, it's not just the snow belt. It's everywhere is getting a piece of this and has been getting a piece of this.
For sure.
Andy, thank you so much. We will see you coming up on TV. Thanks, man.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Jeff.
And that is it for your first alert forecast. 19 News, 3 o'clock over on CBS for 3.5 hours of nonstop news. We will see everybody in just a little bit.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel